Hi, welcome to Tennis Volley Talk with Brian Danielson, episode 32. I was supposed to have an in-house guest again, but they did not show. Still feeling a little under the weather. So, today I'm going to be talking about a little bit about the U.S. Open that is being played in New York at this particular time for the next 2 weeks. It's only day 4, and they're in the latter part of the second round, going into the third round at this particular time of this week. This is the first week of it. And it's been a very good tournament so far. It's been very interesting, very fun to watch. Been some upsets. And last night, Caroline Wozniacki actually upset and beat number 11 seed Petra Kvitova. And that was kind of a surprise, but she did play very well in beating her. Today, kind of a little disheartening, but John Isner had been playing for 20 years in tennis, and he decided that U.S. Open was going to be his retirement tournament. He actually was up 2-0 today and ended up losing it in 5, and of all things, a 5th set tiebreaker. Of course, he's been known to be playing a lot of tiebreakers, though, too. And but he lost, and that he's going to retire now. But also with that, too, as we know, John Isner, he's been involved in good and famous matches, too. And one of his more famous was the Wimbledon match, which I'll be mentioning some tidbits of some U.S. Open tidbits here in just a little bit. So, with that, I just wanted to also just say that that the U.S. Open, really basically the last tournament of the year of the 4 major tennis tournaments that there is. So, with that. But, for you YouTubers, if you like the information and the history and the tidbits and what I do, just be sure and comment, subscribe, like, leave a comment, like I said, and let me know what you think and what you want me to say. And if you want any more over-the-phone interviews that I have done, like for and with the likes of Cullen Robertson, Australian tennis player from back in the late 60s, early 70s, and played college. And then also then the part owner and head of tennis operations of the John Newcomb Tennis Ranch in New Braunfels, Texas. So those were 2 fun, good interviews that I had, and it was fun. Learned a lot, and it was really, really good. So if you like those, I'll continue that too. But I do like doing those and getting a hold of someone that somebody can relate to in the tennis world. With that, I just will keep on trying to get people and keep on doing this. Also for you podcasters, I will be doing Racquet of the Day here pretty soon. So you'll be hearing the Racquet of the Day. And if you want to see the Racquet of the Day and what I'm talking about, you can always go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk. So go to that, and then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about with one of my many rackets that I have behind me here, and I have a lot more than just those. So I just do like showing you those, and it's been one of my fun things to do through this process, and showing you the rackets that I have, and telling you about those, and letting you see. Because if they were not with me, they would have not been anywhere else, but probably in the trash somewhere in a landfill. And being gone forever. So I have been lucky enough to have some old rackets, and I'm so happy that I do have those particular rackets. So it's been a fun thing for me to have and do in getting those rackets. But I just wanted to do and have a little bit of some U.S. Open fun facts for everybody, in case you didn't know. But one of them is in 1975, first Grand Slam to feature night matches was first night match at the U.S. Open. So yeah, and it's been really wonderful, because that way then it was able from 1975 on to today to be able to watch on TV the night matches, and seeing some very, very good night matches over the years with the likes of Carlos Moya, and then he had a big 5-setter, and then he lost to an American, of all things. It was down 2-0, and then ended up losing that match many years ago. And then with that, you've seen just a lot of good night matches, and that kind of speeds the process of the matches through the day and then into the night. So you do have the night matches that you can see that way. And then in 2001, of all things, Venus and Serena Williams became the first sisters to play in a final. In the final, Venus won 6-2, 6-4 over her younger sister. So that must have been pretty cool, to be able to see that. 2001 is when that happened, of all things. And then actually, one of the longest matches was at the U.S. One of the longest matches at the U.S. Open was 5 hours and 26 minutes between Stefan Edberg and Michael Chang. And that was one of the longest U.S. Open tennis matches. And then, of course, like I said, the longest match was John Isner and Nicholas Mahut, and that was in Wimbledon, and it lasted 11 hours and 5 minutes over the course of 3 days. And John won in the fifth, 70-68, and you had to win by 2 games. That just kept on going, and but he ended up winning it over a 3-day span, with that. So that was unbelievable. But like I said, he was famous and known for being in famous matches, and that's one of the most famous that a lot of people do remember with that. And like I said, if you YouTubers do like what I'm talking about and doing the little tidbits and the tennis history, I do like talking about it and letting you know and have some insight. I just hope that whoever does watch this does get kind of, into tennis or wants to start trying it, because it's been a lifetime sport for me, playing for almost 50 years. And, you YouTubers, be sure and go to my YouTube channel, subscribe and like and comment, leave some comments, always welcome comments, and please do that. Would like to hear that from you, to do that. Also with that too, you podcasters, like I said, Racket of the Day is going to be coming up. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, be sure and go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk. And then also another little tidbit, U.S. Open developed from one of the oldest championships, U.S. National Championships, established in 1881. So it was really not that kind of turned into the U.S. Open from the U.S. National Championships, is what it kind of eventually then turned into the U.S. Open. And then also, U.S. Open was played on 3 different surfaces in its history. Now, from 1881 to 1974, it was played on grass. So, nice surface to play on, but that was a long run to have it play for that long on one particular surface. And then the others actually was from 1975 to 1977. It was then played on clay. And then since 1978, it was on hard court surface, the Deco turf. The courts they made the courts then blue, the color blue that you see now. And most everybody goes to that color blue nowadays on courts. And they call it the US Open Blue is what they usually call it. And those went to blue courts in 2007 is when those went to the blue courts. So that's kind of a little interesting tidbit of fact too. And then 2006 became the first to allow players to challenge line calls via Hawkeye challenge with the challenge of the line calls, which was 2006. So that's not all that long ago, 10 plus years or so, but it's still or 15 years or so, something like that. So it's still popular now. But nowadays, that what they've ended up doing is having the lines covered pretty accurately through an automatic line calling system. So it moves a little faster, and nobody can really dispute a line call now. If they want a confirmation of it, or maybe how far it was out or something like that, they're going to ask for replay, but that's the only thing they get because they know that is a right call and it was out if it was out with that automatic line call. And then also with that, the players in the male side to win the most US Opens was Jimmy Connors, Pete Sampras, and Roger Federer. And they tied with 5 US Opens. Now, Chris Evert and Serena Williams have the most of the women's and titles of US Open, and that's 6 is what they've gotten right now. And like I said, with you YouTubers, please subscribe, go to my channel, go to Tennis Volley Talk, subscribe, make a comment, welcome comments. Please let me know with any kind of comments with anybody that listens or watches. Please, if you like this, I just hope that somewhere along the way it gets inspirational for you to be able to play tennis like I have been a lifetime sport for myself for over 50 years now. Now, also, just kind of a little tidbit too is the youngest men's championship was actually Pete Sampras, and he was 19 years and 28 days old when he ended up winning his US Open. Now, the youngest women of the women, it was Tracy Austin in 1979, and Pete actually won that in 1990. And then 79 is when Tracy Austin won it, and she was only 16 years and 8 months old when she ended up winning the US Open. Been a long time, and she's now a commentator for the Tennis Channel, and a very good one. And they're all at the US Open to this day. This week, these next 2 weeks, they're at the US Open for these next 2 weeks. Now, also, one of the things that is kind of a nice little tidbit, interesting fact also with that is that Arthur Ashe is actually the only African-American male to win the US Open in 1968. Ashe Stadium completed in 1997, and it included the roof in 2016 is when they put the roof on it. The stadium is the largest tennis stadium in the world at 23,771 people that can fit into there with that Arthur Ashe Stadium. Yeah, so you YouTubers, if you do like the my YouTube and just watching it, be sure and subscribe and like and make a comment on the channel. I do like doing it for you guys. It's always fun to do, trying to find the research. And if you like the over the phone interviews, I like doing those. Eventually, I will get to a stream and hopefully get a tennis pro somewhere along the way, or I've passed a few of my cards out. Maybe a tennis pro might call me someday. Who knows? And I can do over the phone with them. So with that, and then also, like I said, here for you podcasters now and you YouTubers, I'm coming up with the racket of the day here. Now, what it is, it's an AG Spalding tennis racket. Now, it's actually kind of, it says on it, A.G. Spalding in writing on it. So it is a very older racket, because usually they would have a little decal that says A.J. Spalding on it right there. But this just has writing of it. So you know it's a very old racket. And it also says autograph gut. Of course, being the cow gut, like I mentioned last time, or a cat gut on older rackets like this. This is actually probably early 1900s Spalding racket. It says Spalding BC on it. So I'm not really sure what the BC means, but I know it's probably in around about the 1920s, early mid 20s to 30, just above 1930s. With this very good in shape racket, very good, very nice, and it also guaranteed only when kept in a press. So always have to keep the wooden ones in a press so they don't warp in the heat and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I figured that this racket would be a good racket for you YouTubers to see. Very nice racket, very durable, very heavy racket though too. With this racket, and the handle, the grip is nothing but if it didn't have a wrap on it, but it's a very large grip. It's probably about a 4.5 or larger for a grip size. But that's the way they did it back then. So, but very good, heavy, sturdy racket for back then, I'm sure, that people played with. So yeah, for you YouTubers, this is it. You can see what I'm talking about here with it. And then the Spalding BC. They used in some of the Spalding, I guess they had at one time it said Spalding Aero BC. So that's the brand or the name that they called the racket. But this one, I think, leads me to believe that it might be a little older than the Aero racket, but it's a BC. So not sure if it means British Columbia or Boston College. I'm not really sure exactly what that is. If anybody does know what BC stands for on the Spalding racket, please let me leave a comment. Let me know. That would be kind of a good research for people maybe to try to find out too of what that means. So that was it. Now for you YouTubers, if you do want to see what I'm talking about with the racket that I'm telling you about, be sure and go to the YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, and you'll be able to see this racket of the one that I am actually talking about with you on this particular racket. So yeah, it's a very good racket for that respect. And so yeah, hopefully next week I will be able to get an in-house guest, and later possibly doing some over the phone calls again, and seeing what I can come up with. And so I just want to say, with the nice weather out there still, some around the country may be getting cooler and colder coming up these next few months and getting into winter, so you can't get outside. But please enjoy the outside playing tennis as much as you can. Get out there, enjoy this week again. Be sure and YouTubers, be sure and subscribe, like, comment. Let me know. I would just like to know that I'm doing good with this, and let me know. You podcasters, like I said, if you want to see what I'm talking about, go to the YouTube channel, and hopefully, if you like that, and it might inspire you to maybe pick up a tennis racket and get out there and see, or take some lessons in group. Or something like that. So always been a fun sport for me to keep it up, of what I've done over the years playing tennis. So everybody, you guys have a nice week out there. Enjoy the tennis, and thank you again for watching and listening to me. Everybody have a good week. Thank you.